I'm here for everybody. Stupid piece of shit that night. Don't talk accuse me of it all. Oh, do I got the 94-year-old motherfucker on you piece of shit. Stop! Oh, really? Okay, let's try this again. The meeting is called to order. The first thing is call the roll, please.
Alexander present.
Ben Brown here.
Derek Scobie here.
Miles Davidson sitting for Commissioner Kevin Calvi.
M.T. Berry here.
Adam Luck here.
Okay, there is a quorum. Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Absolutely. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The meeting was properly posted on September 29th, 2022. And today we just swore in two new members of the trust, Adam Luck and Pastor Derek Scobie. And I personally want to welcome you. And if there are other comments from other members of the trust, this is the time to say welcome.
I'll join you in that, Chairman. Welcome to the trust. Looking forward to working with both of you.
And some of us who are on the trust know that it's sometimes it's an almost thankless job, but we've made great progress, and we welcome both of you to our task. Okay. For public comment, Michael Washington, you're recognized for 3 minutes.
Well, first of all, we want to give recognition to these two additions. But let me also say while we're at it, I'm not going to ease up my stance against what is required of you while you're there to do your goddamn jobs over here. Bottom line, you still got people dying, not being fed appropriately, getting eaten up by bed bugs, not giving the proper medications on time, correctional jailers going into their jails, harassing them. You want to know why? Because I get the news daily. That's right, under privacy, you will not have access to this, by the way. Now, let me say this here as well. My organization, Oklahoma Coalition Against People Abuse, will not tolerate any injustice on any level, including this fictitious lie about me disrupting, being neglectful to a 94-year-old infirm woman whom I've lived with for 11 goddamn years. Are you people lost your goddamn minds? Really? I'm going to go and fight out for everybody. Toss a chicken, say Norman, and yet do somebody under my own kind wrong? And then you got some stupid idiots believing and convicting a person ain't even in the trial yet. What kind of stupid idiot is that? Now then, let's get back to this portion of the meeting while I'm in it. This thing needs to be corrected. Some of those people in that jail need to be let out. And I mean business. You got people in there dying from fentanyl overdose. You got people dying in there, being beaten by other inmates in their cells, being disregarded. Watch it now because I got my news. That's only for my eyes and ears, only for temporary that is. We're going to require that this situation be corrected. You need to get in there and get on this no-good sucker here to my left. Greg Williams and Monday both. That's right, you know I'm not just pretending with him. Ask him how I talk about behind their faces. Now this. You need to get in there and monitor their behaviors. You wouldn't hear Michael Washington talking about this if there's at least an attempt to correct this evil and wrong that's going on. That's all I require. Let me see some movements being done. Let me see some improvements being done. Let me evaluate them like any other person would have a right to do. That's all I ask for. Don't come and act like nothing is going on when it is. And I mean that. In closing, since I have a little bit of time, if anybody thought Michael Watson was going to hide like a little tickle toy over these frivolous, outlandish allegations, you better think twice. They don't tell y'all that I'm the one who took the lady to the goddamn hospital because she was losing goddamn weight. They don't tell you that. They're stupid. Then you got some idiots in here. I don't want to see that. Excuse me, y'all. I've told y'all I'm cool now. Then thank y'all very much, and I will be back. I started
Your time's expired.
Yes, it has. I just said
Johnson,
I'll
you're
be back.
recognized for 3 minutes.
Afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome the two new members. I hope that there's some decency that can be done that comes from this body. I don't think that there will be because it's not set up by design that way. But if there is some good things that happen, please, I encourage that. One of the things is, for Pete's sake, can we find somebody else besides Turnkey? I want to submit for the record from a conservative news organization, the Oklahoman, talking about multiple states suing Turnkey. I was written in 2017. I also want to submit real quick several documents showing how, since we're on our third advisory board, how none of the other two have really amounted to anything. The first one showing open meetings violations. The second one that had a lot of really good folks on it. They just didn't take any of the solid recommendations. There was good stuff. So there's that. I also want to submit how it doesn't matter if there's any substantive things that are going to pass. We've had 4 votes, agendas passed before. I know that they said it took 5 for the ayes vote, but here's one right here, a 4-vote pass. It happened March 2nd, 2020, and it was the third item on the list. I also want to submit the last time we passed a health inspection report was under Sheriff P.D. Taylor for 2018 and 2019. He did fail this 2017, but came back and passed it. It's right here. It's in substantial compliance. That's September 26, 2018 and August 21st, 2019. And so I know that we're going to disagree on most things, but with everything that's happening, we've lost roughly 30 people in 20 months. Can we all agree that Mr. Greg Williams and Mark Opgran need to find another place to work at? Can we get somebody in here? I know none of y'all want to dissolve the trust and things like that, but can we find somebody else? Is this the best that we can do, ladies and gentlemen? Is this the best that we can do? 73 deaths in 19 years from 2020 to 2019 under the sheriff's office. Again, I'm not a friend of the previous sheriff. We don't hang out. I just understand facts. That's 3 to 4 people per year on average. We now lose 12. And we've lost around 29 to 30 in less than 2 years from 2021 till now. We have lost around 40% of what was lost, verified lost, under the sheriff's office in less than 2 years. Guys, we got to do something about this.
Your time's expired.
Thank you.
Jess Eddie, you're recognized for 3 minutes.
I believe I'm the last remaining individual who continues to regularly come to these meetings and give public comment, who was there when the trust was formed and even prior to its takeover of the jail. I was there for the struggle to keep this opportunity to speak. I was aware that there was no legal guarantee that this forum must exist, and it almost ceased to exist. It's taken away several times, but we fought to retain it, and this lectern now is a sacred space of community expression. It denotes the distinction, more than anything, between the past and the present, between a time of law enforcement control with no public oversight and complete public control with the opportunity to speak directly once a month to this public body. Sadly, I don't see this simple understanding of the past and the present in the expressions now coming from this lectern's most frequent attendees. I don't see respect for this space as a space reserved for the interests of the afflicted, vulnerable, and oppressed, Instead, I see exploitation and ignorance. It has become painfully clear to me that those frequenting this lectern on behalf of the community have come to see it as an opportunity for self-advancement and exploitation of the community's interest. Here, the cameras are usually on and the journalists occupy the seats. And these individuals are exploiting our community's most sacred interests to get camera time. I know this to be true not only because these individuals have revealed their true colors to me in the past, but because they advocate for positions that make for good headlines, but would compound the harm they espouse to condemn. For example, they stand with and support the District Attorney David Prater, that depraved man who prosecutes according to his temperament and political agenda, who vigorously pursues and defends excessive bonds to prolong his victims' incarceration in that dungeon, and who opposes medical release of even the most severely ill. That's who they stand with. They advocate for the dissolution of this trust from the hands of the community and back to the care of the sheriff. They attack people like Mr. Tardy Bono, who has probably done more to correct injustice in this county, in this building, and the adjacent building than any other person I'm aware of. They don't stand with the impacted and suffering people, or they would be desperately engaging constructively to help stop the loss. They stand in their illness and in their affliction of narcissism. I have grown weary of these individuals whose policy points would indisputably lead us backward. And if there is one thing more offensive to my senses than my traditional opponents on the right, it's hypocrisy and exploitation on the left, especially when lives are literally on the line. And today I'm here to be very clear to Christopher Johnston, Mark Falk, and Sean Cummings that I will oppose them at every instance that they emerge in their self-seeking at this lectern that belongs to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eddie. Is it Macy Smith? Okay, you're recognized for 3 minutes, Ms. Smith.
Hi guys. I was an inmate at the county jail the other day for the first time, and I know you guys are going to look at me and not care because I'm just another body coming up here to talk. But I want you guys to go stay in there for a day. I was in there literally 24 hours, and I am covered head to toe in bed bug bites. They literally crawl on you. I'm on the 13th floor, the medical floor. You would think that that would be a little more clean, a little more helpful. Maybe they would give me some cortisone cream, something for the itching, but they don't. They don't care. I was in there for 12 hours without a bed. They expected me to sleep on the metal frame, I'm assuming, without no pad, with the bugs that crawl on the metal frame. And if you guys know anything about bed bugs, it's very uncommon for them to crawl on metal. They like fabric. They like dark spots. They come out of the walls. They literally crawl out of the walls. So we inmates get up. It's common for them to jump up and open up or take off their tops because they're crawling in their seams of their clothes. It's inhumane. They're not asking for anything. And then another thing is you guys lock them up and give them 1 hour, up to 3 hours a week of being able to be out of their cell. And people on the medical ward who are actually mentally going through things, you guys would think you would try to help them with something that could mentally get their mind to be in a better spot because they already have mental issues going into the facility. So I don't know if that is something that y'all can do or will do. I have a feeling that these people come up here often and try to talk to you guys and nothing's very done because I haven't heard of anything done. And on the phone, I was talking to someone and they said that I could come up here and speak because you guys are unaware of the issue. I am very, very 100% sure you guys are very aware of the issue and have been aware of the issues for a very long time. And it's sad that you guys as humans will let other humans, even though they made mistakes, we understand they made mistakes or they didn't and they're there. Some people haven't even been found guilty yet and they're there. And they're getting eaten alive by bugs. That's inhumane. That's neglectful. Some people are probably up there for neglect on a child or against someone, but you guys are neglecting them. It's messed up and it's not cool. And you as a human, and every single one of you guys sitting here looking at me, know if you guys were in that position, you would be here the next effing week to come and speak to one of you guys sitting here. And you guys would want something done. and nothing's getting done, and it's sad.
Jody Poplin, you're recognized for 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to once again thank the 2 new board members. And again, I'm embarrassed and I am ashamed. And I'm sure you all know why. However, I want to talk about the 6th floor. The ladies are only being let out maybe once or twice a week for a shower. That is not your own state law. That is not what's written in the inmate handbook that the inmates do not get upon booking. I've done spoke with Untrust Junior over here about this on the 10th floor. They're not, or the 12th floor, they're not getting rec. They're not getting clean underwear. They never get it. They call it change out day to get clean clothes. No, it should be called Orange Day because that's all they get. And then on, all the floors, as we know, is the bed bugs. Something has to be done. There is a lady that contacted Captain Kevin Wagner, who was supposed to pass it on to Untrust Junior, Mr. Mundy over here. And it's an email. And she owns a bed bug company. And she will 100% get rid of those bed bugs. And any of y'all are more than welcome to read the emails on my phone from the inmates. Y'all are more than welcome to see certain photographs, anything you want. All you have to do is ask me. I have nothing to hide. I would also like to inform y'all that we did, when I mentioned last month, that I personally was stepping away from the Coalition Against People Abuse. We did start a new foundation, and it's called the Burkhalters Freedom Foundation. And it is named after the 94-year-old lady. And the reason the name Freedom is in there is because she's free. She's doing good. She's gaining weight.
Wow, you stupid idiot. You can't ignore it. Don't sit there and talk like it's stupid. Shut up, bitch. Shut up.
She's gaining weight.
You're a lie, stupid. How you
Mr.
Dressing herself, starting to dress herself.
Mr. Washington, will you please respect other people?
This is why I'm embarrassed and ashamed. But she's smiling now. She's playing bingo again. And she's doing good.
Okay.
And blessed that she didn't pass away.
Your time has expired.
Thank you. Keep talking after that.
Next is the Senate agenda.
What you gonna do? I don't hit women, girl, but you better get your goddamn ass off me.
Chill out. I'm not afraid of a man.
And I don't hit him like I was.
Let's have order, please. We have an agenda. We have business to conduct. We do have a consent agenda with our meeting minutes and invoices and claims. Are there questions? Anybody have a question about anything on the consent agenda? Mr. Luck, yes, sir.
Yes, I just had a question. How can I abstain from voting on the meeting minutes but still vote on items 4 and 5?
I think the best way is to vote on the minutes separately here.
Okay.
And then we can do the balance of the consent document.
Whatever. Then, okay, item 3. Do I hear a motion to approve or amend the minutes for September 6th? We do have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Yes.
Okay, it's not on. How many yes votes? It went up quickly and then okay, six. Six yes votes and one abstention. Okay. Uh, Now then, item 4 is approval of invoices and claims. Uh, Are there questions or do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve items 4 and 5 and the remainder of the consent document.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll. Okay, that passes. Item 4 passes with seven yeses. Item 5 is the income statements and financial reports for the Criminal Justice Authority. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, my last motion was for items 4 and 5, the remainder of the consent.
Oh,
So
I'm
those are
sorry, I
Nope,
didn't
no worries.
catch that. Okay,
No worries. So we're on item
okay,
6.
we're on item 6 then. Excuse me. Okay, Greg Williams, you are recognized.
Good afternoon. Just a few things I want to talk about. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update about the employees. I'll give you some statistics about the jail operations, some statistics on our fiscal year FY22. I'm going to talk a little bit about a salary proposal, an increase proposal that we'll share with the BET next week. And I also want to recognize a death that we had. John Basco died on September the 11th. And that death is being investigated. We've sought the assistance of the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, and they are helping with that. So right now we are awaiting a medical examiner's report to give us a better idea of the cause of that death. So I'll give you that information as it becomes available. One slide behind. COVID. We've had a significant decrease in COVID numbers really since February of the year. I'll get into that a little bit later on in the presentation. We'll talk about some numbers that we've had during the year. Right now, we've got 2 employees with active cases. We have 1 detainee with an active case. We've had 12 employees test positive since the beginning of the year. Our protocols remain consistent. We test all the detainees 3 to 5 days after reception. If they're positive, then we'll quarantine them where they're at. Anybody that goes to the hospital, of course, is tested typically at the hospital. Anybody that has symptoms or anybody that reports an exposure, those folks are tested. So our testing remains aggressive, and our results are about 2% or just over 2% is typically what we've been averaging. We've had 6 new hires that started in September. We have 8 hires that we hired in September, but they won't start until October. Currently, we have 306 employees. So again, that becomes one of our main priorities is hiring staff and especially detention officers. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the proposed salary increase. Booking and releasing so far. In September, we had 3,593 total bookings and releasings, had 1,811 releases, 1,782 booking, which is down a little bit. I mean, when you think about September is a 30-day month, August was a 31, so we're about 100, just over 100 short than what we had last month. But even with that extra day, we're probably down 50 or 60. If you look at last year's average population this month was 1,787, and this month we're 1,668, so we're about 109 or so short of what we were a year ago. So we are tending to trend down. So that, I think that's good news. COVID tests for the year in 2022, we tested 5,572 total tests, and again, 144 of those are positive, which is about 2.5%, which again is pretty reflective of the community at large. So we really don't have anything extraordinarily going on in the jail with COVID. We still do a lot of tests, and we will continue to do that. We recognize that COVID is still a threat to the staff and to the detainees at the center. And we're going to stay vigilant and monitor that and test and treat. Again, we encourage vaccinations, we encourage boosters, and we test people that want to be tested or need to be tested. Looking at some numbers from last year, again, this is FY21 compared to FY22, and the years of data that the trust has, and you can see the numbers as they're reflected. 5 main categories, or 5 categories that we think are significant that can be easily measured with statistics from last year, with assaults on staff and inmate on inmate, violence, use of forces, reported jail sexual assaults, and contraband. And again, the sexual assaults, those are the numbers of reports that we get that are submitted for investigation. So those aren't actually confirmed sexual assaults, but that's how we log it into our database. The use of force is the one that has gone up, and it went up by 9. And again, a use of force can be anytime a staff member at the detention center puts hands on an inmate or has any sort of interaction, physical interaction with a detainee to get them to do something. So sometimes it's a matter of just getting a hold of them and walking them to a cell, or sometimes it's actually a more violent physical confrontation. But that's really the numbers for 22. So we're encouraged that we've got some of the things at least going in the right direction. Fast Track is a program that we implemented in February. That was one of the goals that we had for last year. And essentially what this is, it allows bondsmen or somebody that can make bond to come into the front door of the jail. They're escorted down a hall, and they can actually be booked in and released without ever going into the intake area of the jail, the secured side of the jail. And you can see this represents about 4 months. When you look at it, started in February. We really didn't get the word out till probably the end of February, and it was kind of slow catching on. So really it represents maybe 4.5 months, and you've got 400 essentially. So about 100 a month. So that's 400 people that didn't go through the intake area, which, as you know, is very congested and busy and is ripe for problems. So anything we can keep the police out of it, we can keep the booking staff busy doing what they're doing, it's a win. So we're encouraged by the results of that and look forward to that program even growing. We are going to propose, or we have proposed, a pay increase for the staff. And again, this chart kind of helps kind of give you a current state. Right now, the detention officers are paid less than other people in the county of similar kinds of jobs. We're running behind some of the other local counties that have been able to give pay raise. And again, it's the ongoing story. There's a staff shortage all over the area and all over the state and country. And salaries are one of the things that really broaden that net for prospective employees and getting the right kind of people to do that. So we are going to propose that we give our staff an 8.5% cost of living increase to match what the other county employees have had. And we're going to propose a $500 incentive for detention officers. And again, you know, we have struggled, as well as a sheriff and past sheriffs and people all over the country, getting detention officers and jail and prison staff are hard to recruit even under the best of times. And these times are certainly motivating us to do some things differently and get more aggressive with that. I looked at some numbers this morning. We have 158 detention officers currently employed at the jail. And if you look at let's just say we come up with a 400 staffing plan of 400 people. And again, there are lots of people that'll tell you that we need 600, but let's just say 400. We can agree that 400 is what's needed to then an adequate job of, basic kinds of services. And we have 185. We'd need 303 officers. If we were fully staffed at 400, I'd like to have 300 of those at least to be detention officers. So we're about 50% short on detention officers, and we've got to get more aggressive, and we've got to increase the pay, and we've got to get ways to recruit the right kind of people for that particular job. So with all that said, we're going to advocate an 8.5 for everybody, and then an additional 500 for those that come in as detention officers. Our suicide prevention, again, all deaths are tragic and horrible at the jail, and certainly suicides are some of the more troubling. So people get to that state of mind. So we have continued to increase our efforts to educate staff and educate those being detained about the services that are available for suicide. We've got 4 scheduled classes this month with a psychiatrist that's coming in and doing training, specialized training for the staff that are on board, and that is going very well. We've also got some prompts on our kiosk right now. If a person needs to have a sick call slip or a mental health request, they get on a tablet or a computer and they can log in and request a visit. And the first thing that comes up under the mental health sick call request is, are you suicidal? If you are, then hang up, call 0, talk to a staff person, communicate to the next staff person that you see. So there's prompts on there to help encourage those folks to get help or seek help, or at least let somebody know that they're in a bad spot so we can intervene. Some of the other things that we're doing is we've hung posters all over the detention center. We've done that for a while, and that has been very helpful to at least generate conversation with staff and people that come into the jail, as well as the detainees. So there is more communication, and we are getting that word out that there are people to help, there's people available to help, and people to help. There's hope at the end if we can get that word to folks. So we are making a massive effort, and we'll continue to address suicide as one of the priorities there at the center. That concludes my presentation. Are there questions or comments?
Other questions? Motion to accept his report. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We do have a second. Please call the roll. With that passed with 7 votes. We have no contracts, so there'll be nothing on item 7 or item 8.
Actually, Citizens Advisory.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, Erin, you're recognized.
Thank you so much and good afternoon. Welcome to the 2 newest board members. This is actually a wonderful demonstration of the value of the Citizens Advisory Board. These 2 gentlemen were the recommendations that emerged from our meetings, and so we're so excited, albeit sad just to lose Pastor Scobie from the Citizens Advisory Board, but know that the both of you will contribute hugely to this board. I'll keep my report short and sweet. Probably the most significant effort that is emerging from the Citizens Advisory Board right now is coming out of the committees, specifically the Recruitment and Retention Committee, of which I am a part of, and Pastor Scobie was previously the chair. We are engaging in an employee survey to, as you have learned even more so today from Director Williams, the value of enhancing the quality of staff at the detention center. And so this survey will be disseminated to all employees to measure a number of different things. Number one, to gauge their satisfaction as an employee, to gauge what ideas they may have to make the employee experience more valuable. We're asking what motivates them when it comes to working at the detention center, and asking for, again, additional ideas to improve that employee experience. There are about 10 questions on this survey. We are excited as a subcommittee to then gather those responses and share them with the Citizens Advisory Board, and then bring those results back to all of you. I think it's going to be important for us to hear from those that are on the front lines and get a better understanding of what drives them, what motivates them, what maybe is important and valuable when it comes to even recruiting new employees as well. The next meeting of the Citizens Advisory Board is next Wednesday, October the 12th at 9 a.m. And that concludes my report, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Other questions? Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your time. Now, item 8 is contracts, and there are none. So we will skip item 8, go directly to item 9, and that's the, oops, I just messed mine up here. What I did. This is the resolution for increased funding that we have continued to request. And are there questions, Greg? You can help with that if we need to, or really any of us can. But this is the resolution we've passed multiple times, and we want to keep it in front of the county. Do we want to adopt this resolution again?
Yes.
Yes. I'd entertain a motion to adopt the resolution for requesting increased funding.
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We do have a second. Okay, passed 7-0. Our next meeting will be November 7th at 1 o'clock in this same room. So make sure you have that on your calendar if you're going to be here. Now we'll entertain a motion to go into executive session as is outlined in item 11. Do I have a motion? Second. Okay, that passed 7-0. So we're now in executive session, and we will adjourn to where we meeting? Motion to reconvene, leave the executive session and reconvene in open session.
So moved.
We have a motion? Have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Please call the roll. Just go. Okay. The motion passed 7-0. Now, for item 14, there's a resolution regarding legal representation. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve resolution.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Those in favor, vote aye. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
Before we take that, please declare.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I keep getting to declare those.
Motion passed.
Motion passed.
And there was no business under 13, so no
Right.
action was taken on 13.
Okay,
And now you're 15.
now we're at 15. Where's that motion to adjourn? Motion in a second? Okay, that motion passed 7-0, and we are adjourned.
Very good.
Hmm.